from April 29, 2011 at the Curious Comedy Theater. The subject, Attack of the Birds and the Bees.
So our next performer is Tricia Cashin. She made her Time Out debut last month, and she just rocked the house, I have to say. We're happy to have her back. She said she started performing about a year and a half ago, and she said, and these are her words, not my words, her words, she was a demoralized government employee, and the logical result of that was comedy. So, Tricia has a master's degree in forensic psychology, and any day now I expect a TV show based on her real-life experiences. So please give a loud and enthusiastic welcome to Tricia Cashin.
Thank you. So speaking of birds, when I was growing up, there was this bird that used to crash into our living room window just at full speed ahead. It would just come out and just right into the glass, and then it would just sort of catch itself, sway around a little, turn around, fly back out, come back in, and just again. And, you know, after about maybe 10 or 15 times, you know, it would knock itself out, fall to the ground. By the time I would run outside to see what it was doing, you know, to see if it was dead, it would sort of be coming to and going, you know, dust itself off, getting ready to fly back out. And I didn't know it at the time, but the bird's behavior was a visual depiction of what would become my entire adult dating career. I learned that these birds are just, they see a reflection and they think it's another bird and they just want to join in the fun. They just want to be with who they see behind the glass. And unfortunately, thousands of birds die each year from this self-induced, repeated blunt force trauma. Behind the glass, I see a variety of different species of Manus unavailabilis. And it doesn't matter that, like, right here on my side of the glass, there's like 10 free-range men, just available, just there. No, I want the one that I can't have behind the glass. So I'm pretty good at getting back there and attracting them. You know, I fly back, ignore them, you know, do a few swirl moves, show my feathers, and don't look at them, and then just perch and wait. And as the years have gone on, I've noticed the waiting time has increased a little bit, which is disturbing, but still, they eventually will fly right up, and so it's not really getting them that's the problem, it's keeping them and maintaining them. You know, friends have tried to help me out. You know, one friend bought me a book called The Rules, Capturing the Heart of Mr. Right. And I believe the book is probably right. It teaches you how to play hard to get to keep your man, to capture the man. And, you know, it's probably works, but I don't have a problem. You know, what I have a problem with is I'm really good at playing hard to get rid of. So it's, I need a book for that. You know, and I have some special dating challenges, you know, because I'm a hoe. That's a head of household. That's a tax category. So I don't know what you're thinking about. It means I'm responsible for my daughter, you know, all aspects of her emotional, physical, financial development. And even though she's only 6, you know, I want to raise her, you know, speaking of bees, I sort of want to raise her kind of wanting to be with men who are like beekeepers. You know, the man who's gonna, you know, you always hear about the men who are, oh, he's a keeper. He's a keeper. I mean, that for me is a kiss of death. If someone says someone's a keeper, I'm like, it was going great until you said that. But But for her, I want her to have a different experience. I mean, I want her to have the symbolic man who's willing to put on that bee suit and just tend to her every need. She is the queen bee, he is the beekeeper, and that is the natural order of things. That's the experience. I want her to have that experience because it certainly has not been my experience. And somehow I missed that lesson, and I don't know, it could just be that I enjoy challenge, which is certainly true, but also, it just wasn't the model that I was raised with in male-female relationships. It's just not what I saw with my mom and dad. And I can't really go into that right now because my dad is in the audience. Was a big part of the routine, and he's here with his lady friend, Mary, who I really like, because Mary is a keeper, and I'd like her to stay around. So I'm just going to say that my dad is a keeper. He's great. He said he could handle it, so we'll see. At least this is a clean comedy show, because the other shows my dad has been to have not been, and that was kind of difficult. So I think for him. And about the birds, I pity the birds because they have small brains. So they don't really know what they're doing. I mean, they just want to get in. They're just like they want in. And, I don't understand because I have in other areas of my life, a pretty well-functioning brain. But when it comes to men and dating, I don't seem to be able to listen to what men are actually saying. And I have not dated men who lie. So I have come to the only logical conclusion that at some point I was abducted and some male researchers implanted a wishful thinking converter box into my brain. And they are monitoring and tracking in the strength of their device to develop for some obscure government research control project. Because whatever men say, I hear something different. So, for example, a man might say, "Hi." I hear, "How you doing?" A man might say, "I'm not looking for anything serious right now." And I hear, "Right now? You're not looking for anything serious, but I know in the future you will be, and I'll be ready and available when that time comes." Just like the bird. I mean, just bang my head right into it every time. And another example, well, I'm married now. This is the man. "I'm married now. I'd like to date you, but I don't really want to get divorced until maybe after Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah, Labor Day." How does that sound? And, what I hear is, "At 6:01 a.m. on the next Labor Day, I will be yours forevermore. We will be together forever." And finally, when pushed, a man might say, "Well, honestly, I just don't see us working out long term. I think that you're great. I'm having fun, and but I'm kind of just using you until something better comes along." Thank God for that converter box, because all I hear is, "So you're telling me I got a chance?" And most recently, I was dating somebody who was separated, and I haven't dated anyone who was separated, so I just figured that meant they're getting divorced but weren't divorced yet. And, so finally, after 9 months, I sort of pushed the issue, what are you doing? Are you getting, what's going on with your divorce? Are you getting divorced? What's going on here? And there was a pause on the phone, and I figured, wow, he's getting his guts up, he's I know he's about to profess his true love for me. So I waited patiently and hopefully, and, he said, well, I enjoy our collaboration. And I was just like, collaboration? Like, this isn't a co-op where, like, you bring the fruit, I bring the vegetable, or we teach the school together. I mean, this is not a collaboration. Like, I thought this was a relationship, not a collaboration-ship. And for most people, that would have been the final straw. Like, that would have been enough. But not with the trusty converter box. It was only moments before it was distorting the truth. Well, I guess the man I want to end up with would be a collaborator. It means we would share everything, and I bet he would even collaborate on wedding plans. It might seem, like I'm a doormat, but it goes so much deeper than that. It's getting what I want is the real issue. And so there's a few things that I told him because he had been married for as long as I've been dating. And so I tried to tell him some new things that were going on in the dating world, like everyone pretty much has venereal diseases, and they can be caught through any type of protection you might try. Like, even HIV is airborne now, so you have to be really careful. Like, if you're thinking about dating other people, I wouldn't chance it. And this was a little low, but it just shows like the lengths I will go to. I said, well, you do kind of look like the Elephant Man, and I just don't know how many people, I don't know how many other women would take pity on you and date you, except somebody as loving and selfless as me. And so finally the collaboration capsized despite my efforts. And, so I'm back to being single again. I'm kind of feeling like that beat up bird, kind of having a hard time rolling over, like to dust off my feathers and get back out into the world of window banging. And really, I just wonder if I wasn't single, if I would be here trying to make complete strangers laugh, because, it's kind of a stressful hobby. I think I'd really rather be, like, birding it and being it and banging it. It sounds like a little bit more fun to me. So, in conclusion, I think that my biggest fear is that one of these guys behind the glass might just say, hey, why don't you come set up your nest over here next to me? Come be with me. So I would, and then I feel like what would happen is the whole cycle would be set in reverse. I'd be on that side of the glass, but then I'd be looking and I'd be seeing all different kinds of birds that I'd never seen before, different varieties. And I would just be like, like, get me. I got to get out of here. I have to have them now. So, thanks for listening. It was good to be here.